Hi, I'm Stephanie Reid, and welcome to The Minutes. Thanks for listening today. It's great to have you along on The Minutes for the week of September 8th, 2025. This is a City of Thunder Bay podcast. The Minutes takes a look at what happened at Thunder Bay City Council this past week, and you can find The Minutes wherever you get your podcasts, including our YouTube channel and our website, thunderbay.ca/The Minutes. And don't forget to subscribe so you never miss an episode. Bit of a change this week, as this was the first meeting of the standing committees under the new City Council governance structure. From now on, council business will be divided by subject, with each standing committee taking on its own focus, and our episodes will continue to recap the meeting or meetings that happened that week. This week, it was the Finance and Administration Standing Committee that met. Unlike City Council meetings, standing committee meetings don't begin with O Canada, but they do still begin with a land acknowledgement from a councillor. That's part of the new governance model that we talked about last week. This week, Councillor Bence gave the land acknowledgement. Before diving into the agenda, the chair called for announcements, and 3 councillors took the opportunity to announce upcoming ward meetings. Councillor Hamilton is hosting a McKellar ward meeting on Wednesday, September 10th at 7 p.m. at the Slovak Legion to discuss the Simpson Street Rehabilitation Project and to give an update on the Victoriaville project. October 1st, at the 55 Plus Centre, Councillor Aiello will be hosting a McIntyre ward meeting where the main item on the agenda is the Northwest Arterial. And Councillor Zizzino will be hosting a Red River ward meeting on October 7th at 7 p.m., also at the 55 Plus Centre. The main item on the agenda there is an update on the Inter-Ocean Development Project, and Manager of Engineering Aaron Ward will be in attendance to give details. As always, attendees are able to ask questions about any issue at the ward meeting. The first presentation of the night was from Wellness Coordinator Brigitte Champaigne-Klassen, who provided details on Employee Appreciation Week, which is coming up in October. This annual initiative is a chance to highlight the work of city employees and celebrate the people who deliver services every day across Thunder Bay. The week features a wide variety of different activities, many that are family-friendly, offered to employees across the corporation. The activities are designed to celebrate city employees and also provide them with an opportunity to foster connection with each other. In 2024, over 400 city employees participated in Employee Appreciation Week activities, including a cornhole tournament, paint nights, a cooking class and competition, and a chocolate tasting. Feedback was gathered after, and in 2025, the most popular events will return, alongside some brand new engaging activities. In addition to being an opportunity for employees to enjoy themselves, research has shown that when employees feel supported and valued at work, there are organizational benefits as well, including improvements in morale, performance, and reduced absenteeism. Employee Appreciation Week takes place from October 20th through 26th and is a part of the city's wider commitment to employee wellness and building a strong workplace culture. Next, Commissioner of Corporate Services and City Treasurer Carrie Greaves presented an overview of the city's debt strategy. Debt is one of the most important tools in finance. Unlike reserves or pay-as-you-go taxation, borrowing costs money. You pay interest. But there are good reasons why municipalities borrow. Capital assets like roads, bridges, recreation centers, and water plants that last for decades, debt helps spread the cost over their useful life, so future taxpayers who also benefit also help pay. Debt also allows the city to act now on urgent needs, whether for growth, safety, or compliance, rather than waiting years to save up. And many major projects are simply too large to fund out of annual revenues or reserves alone. The city's debt strategy, first approved in 2014, sets out how Thunder Bay borrows responsibly. A few of the key concepts include reinvesting savings. So when an old debt matures, the money that is saved on servicing costs is reinvested into the capital program. Special debentures, which are reserved for big one-time projects that benefit multiple generations. And debt service ratio limits, which are self-imposed ceilings that ensure debt servicing costs remain manageable relative to revenues. Currently, the city has about $155.6 million in outstanding debt, with annual servicing costs just under $26 million. About $10.3 million of that is tax supported. Importantly, these numbers are well within the city's limits, and the city's overall financial health is rated AA+ with a stable outlook. The city borrows through Infrastructure Ontario, which provides stable long-term financing at lower rates than the city could secure on its own. Loans can be spread over 5 to 30 years with fixed interest rates for predictability. This also provides a steady rhythm to debt payments. For example, in 2023, Thunder Bay made its final payment on the Homes debenture, lowering annual debt costs. In 2026, costs will tick up again as payments begin on the Art Gallery debenture. They'll dip again in 2027 when the Junot Avenue debt matures. They'll rise again in 2028 when payments begin on Victoriaville and possibly the multi-use indoor turf facility. By reinvesting savings during the low years and drawing from them during the high years, the city smooths out impacts on taxpayers and keeps the tax levy stable. Looking forward, administration is working on a new debt management policy that will complement the long-term financial plan. It will set clear rules, introduce performance metrics, and provide regular reporting to council and the public. Some of the metrics under consideration include debt servicing as a percentage of revenues, debt per capita or per household, debt relative to reserves or the assessment base, the split between growth projects and renewal projects, and the share of capital funded by debt versus taxes, reserves, or grants. This policy is designed to ensure debt remains affordable, transparent, and aligned with community priorities, while protecting the city's long-term financial health. Next, the committee reviewed a detailed workplace safety report from the city manager's office, covering January to June of 2025. 281 incidents were reported, with 92 meeting WSIB criteria and 67 approved as work-related injuries. The top 3 injury types were exposure, overexertion or strain, and struck or contact by. A gastrointestinal outbreak at Pioneer Ridge accounted for 13 exposure incidents, and incidents of violence against staff were down compared to this point last year, with 44 incidents reported so far in 2025. The Ministry of Labour made 16 visits in the first half of 2025, issuing 7 orders. Looking forward, completing a safety framework review and developing an action plan has been added to the city manager's work plan, and the Safety and Wellness Division is targeting preventable injuries like overexertion and slips, trips, and falls through new procedures, stretching programs, and department-specific prevention plans. Finally, the Director of Legislative Services and City Clerk, Krista Power, provided information on how the public can participate in the new enhanced opening ceremonies at City Council meetings, which includes a land acknowledgement, a moment to pause and reflect before the singing of the national anthem. Individual performers or groups with prior public performance experience that are able to sing a cappella or provide their own instruments are being invited to submit their interest in performing O Canada in council chambers to open a council meeting. The goal is to showcase Thunder Bay's diverse local talent while making council chambers a more welcoming and accessible place. The singing of O Canada and the performers will be included in the meeting minutes, which are the official record of City Council and will be stored permanently in the Harry Kirk Archive Centre. More information, including eligibility requirements for performers and an online application form, are available on the city's website. Well, that wrapped up the first ever Finance and Administration Standing Committee meeting, a relatively light agenda, but with important updates on employee recognition, long-term debt planning, workplace safety, and community engagement. And speaking of Employee Appreciation Week, which is coming up next month, I will be joined by the city's wellness coordinator to talk more about what's planned and why it matters in just a moment. Some of them are more visible than others, but city employees touch almost every part of daily life in Thunder Bay. They're the people plowing your street after a snowstorm, keeping the water clean when you turn on the tap, maintaining the parks and arenas you play in, collecting your garbage, caring for loved ones in long-term care, and delivering emergency services when you need them most. But they're also the ones making sure those hardworking folks get paid, have the tools that they need, and are safe when performing their jobs. It takes thousands of employees to keep this city running, and Employee Appreciation Week is a chance to pause and recognize the hard work, dedication, and passion that city staff bring to their jobs every day. A strong, supported workforce means better services for all residents. When employees feel valued and cared for, they're more engaged and better able to deliver the services our community depends on. Employee Appreciation Week is coming up in October, and to tell us more about what's planned for this year and why it matters, I'm joined by the city's wellness coordinator, Brigitte Champaigne-Klassen. Hey Brigitte, thanks for joining me in the Minute Studio.
Thanks.
So, before we get into Employee Appreciation Week, can you just tell me a little bit about your role? Like, what is a wellness coordinator? What kind of things do you do?
Yeah. for sure. I was going to say your summary was such a good overview that I'm not sure I could add to it.
Yeah, but I'm sure you can. We'll squeeze it out.
Yeah, so my role at the city as a wellness coordinator, it's a lot of different things, which is part of the reason I love it so much. So my role really looks to advance psychological health and safety at the workplace and overall just improve employee well-being. It's a bit of a tough task since I'm one person and it's for the whole corporation, but that might include looking at specific policies or initiatives or events kind of throughout the coming years that we could work on that enrich and make the city of Thunder Bay a better place to work for employees, essentially.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, that's awesome. And so you talked a little bit about events, and so obviously Employee Appreciation Week.
Yes.
Can you tell us a little bit more about that? Like, when did it start? Why do we have it? I mean, I think you alluded to it a little bit there, but like more specifically?
Yeah, so Employee Appreciation Week was started in 2021. So before that, there was a survey that kind of went around. And from that survey and some of the discussions, it was decided on that, hey, it would be really great to have more of a focus and initiatives around appreciation for employees because we work, our workforce is so diverse, like you were saying earlier. And so we wanted to commit to a full week of events that really allowed more connections across different departments and folks that just that work in so many different areas and allow a chance to really have some fun and connect and, really bring appreciation to the fact that, we work here at the City of Thunder Bay, and it's pretty awesome.
It is pretty awesome. What kind of events do you do?
It changes every year. We like to bring back some events that are quite popular because and also change it up too. So one event that's really successful every year is a paint night. So folks have been coming pretty regularly every year. We have started a cornhole tournament. So that was a lot of fun and also surprising to see how some folks that I even work with are really good at a cornhole tournament,
I was better at the cooking competition than the cornhole.
Right. Yeah, and that's okay. We all have our strengths, We did a cooking class even, and we host a really big movie event for families too. So we try to offer events that are also family friendly as well. So also highlighting some of the City of Thunder Bay's amenities, like we have really great pools here. So we offer a free swim night for families. And so a lot of wide variety of events and trying to really capture, making it as accessible as possible because that's tough given how big our workforce is. But still trying to make it as accessible and as fun as possible.
I don't want to spoil any surprises or anything, but is there anything new this year that you could tell us about?
This year, I'm looking forward to, we're offering beginner pickleball lessons, and I'm working on, it's still in the works, looking at bringing some beginner line dancing classes, so we'll see. But, yeah.
Well, that sounds fun.
It's not for everyone, but yeah.
We'll give it a try. We'll give it a try for sure. I guess, how do you decide? I mean, you sort of talked about like wanting things that foster connection and things like that. But is there an opportunity for staff to provide feedback and you sort of change what happens? Yeah,
that's something that I think is really important. You have to ask folks like, hey, did you have a good time? What could be improved? Because there's always little things that we can improve every time. So after the events, I like to send out just a survey and just ask how folks, what could be improved, how could be more accessible and things like that. And make it clear that folks could always email me as well. And I'm really open to feedback too. Yeah,
that's awesome. And so obviously, we do this because we want to celebrate employees and we want people to have a good time. But there is a benefit to the corporation to providing, wellness opportunities for employees, right?
Yeah, I think so. And I mean, that could look, wellness includes, collective, organizational, as well as individual wellness. But overall, offering opportunities and working on different events and initiatives or policies to improve our well-being at work. Yeah, it's shown in the literature that it has really big impacts and is really important, Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's great. How do we measure? Like, do we measure how effective? Like, so you talked about how there's opportunities. Do we know? So we know that they like it. Do we have evidence that it is impacting morale or absenteeism or any of those types of things that we're...
That's a really good question. Yeah, and that's definitely a big challenge in my role. So in terms of, I should say too, this is my second time running Employee Appreciation Week. So last year in some of the evaluations I ran, I got a lot of anecdotal evidence of people sharing what they really benefited from or appreciated from specific events, what they wanted to see next year, what they didn't like, and what could we improve this year, Even little things like suggesting going to a different pool because of that having more of a shallow end that would be more accessible to folks with smaller children, or even things like that. So, but in terms of those long-term trends, that's the tricky thing with my role is, psychological health and safety at work is really complex and vast and nuanced. And when we talk about organizational change, that takes, many years to kind of see impacts, usually around minimum of 3 to 5. So overall, anecdotally, there's some evidence that, morale is kind of building, and even across an initiative like this across the organization, it does take time for folks to try it out. Some folks it's hard doing new things too, putting yourself out there and going to a tournament and trying something new, or trying pickleball, or so I feel like year after year when some folks get more comfortable and try new things, that morale build that way, and the hype is great, and it's just
it's always a good time, right? I've been around here for a handful of years, and we have it's definitely a good opportunity to sort of network with your coworkers and get out there.
But your question, the hard facts, I guess, is to be determined.
Yeah, and I mean that's fine, right? Like it's that we're looking at that, and that we're investing in this, and that the city sees value in promoting wellness, right? That long term, right? Yeah, it's great. I think you mentioned at the beginning, it's a good place to work, and it really is because of these types of initiatives, right? What role does leadership play in Employee Appreciation Week, and I guess in employee appreciation efforts in general?
Yeah, so that's something that's growing too. I would say Employee Appreciation Week is something that I haven't seen a lot of other municipalities do too. So it's kind of something that's novel to the city, and that's something that's always evolving every year. So we're encouraging leadership to participate if they want to come to certain events and try something out, or and also encouraging and giving some ideas for supervisors and leaders around if they want to do something specific for their team that's very context specific, because again, the workplace at the city of Thunder Bay is so vast that certain efforts might work really well for one team and might not connect as well with the other. So we really encourage supervisors and leaders to do something that's supportive to their team, that's appreciative, and throughout this week as well. And that's also fun.
So you mentioned those vast teams. Is there and maybe an example you can give, or some sort of way you can explain how we do things differently to attract folks that are working out on the roads versus folks that are in the offices at City Hall? Are there different tactics we use?
Yeah, I think that's part of the strategy that needs kind of more focus in the coming years too, because it's just tough. Because folks that might work in an office might have more access to that digital information, because largely how we share information is through posters or through emails and things like that. And if someone's not in the office as often, then that is hard. So we do rely on those ways of communicating, but also trying to share that communication and that information with supervisors so that they could share that with their employees as well. But that's definitely a challenge of offering enough events and that are accessible enough to folks, while knowing that we have a really large workforce with a lot of different diverse needs too.
Yeah, we certainly have that, right? Like,
Yeah.
it's definitely a diverse group of folks. It's large thousands of people, right? Like, you certainly aren't going to be able to plan an event that we're all going to be able to make it to. And
I wish I could. Yeah.
yeah,
I mean, if you have ideas, let me know.
right. Yeah, well, I'll think
If
about
anyone
it.
does, let me know, you know?
Yeah, I'll think about it. I guess, what do you hope that employees take out of this? What do they get from this?
Yeah, I'm hopeful that employees have a chance to have some fun, maybe meet someone new that they haven't met before from another department or a division, and just come out and try something new, maybe. Yeah.
That's awesome. Well, thank you, Brigitte. That's it for this week's episode of The Minutes. Again, thank you to my guest, Brigitte Champaigne-Klassen, the city's wellness coordinator, for giving us more information on Employee Appreciation Week, what is planned to recognize the hard work of city staff, and as always, thanks to you for listening. If you want more information about City Council, agendas, or minutes, visit thunderbay.ca/council. You can catch The Minutes every week wherever you get your podcasts, on YouTube, or on our website at thunderbay.ca/The Minutes. If you haven't already, hit that subscribe button so you never miss an update. I'm Stephanie Reid. Thanks again for listening to The Minutes. Have a great week.